Well, ARM shares are under pressure today after its full-year revenue forecast missed the street's expectations, but the chip design company beating analysts' EPS and revenue expectations in its fiscal fourth quarter report. To break down what's next for ARM, we've got Yahoo Finance reporter Dan Howley here. Dan, what do we know?
Yeah, obviously the miss on the full-year revenue, not something that Wall Street really appreciated. I think that when it comes to a company like ARM, they're still are relatively new as far as public companies go. And I think a lot of people are banking on this as being a huge AI play. The reality, though, is this is a company that makes the majority of its revenue through mobile devices, so mobile chip licensing, not necessarily data centers. Now, that doesn't mean they're not in data centers. They are. Some companies use them. Some hyperscalers actually use them when they design their own personal chips for their own clouds. They're also in automobiles. They're in IoT devices. So they are everywhere. But the vast majority of their revenue still does come from those smartphone sales. And smartphone sales have been pretty morose, I would say, over the past few quarters, since the tail end of maybe 2020, 2022, or in that time frame, they started to really fall down, and they're bottoming out. We're starting to see some growth again, but look, that's going to continue to be a headwind for them as far as revenue goes. And I think Wall Street going into this, a lot of people were just amped up on AI. We've seen this before with other companies where they don't absolutely blow away anyone in terms of their revenue, their guidance. They're not pulling in NVIDIA, and so they're punished as a result. But not every company's NVIDIA.
So is this indicative, do you think, of a sector-wide slowdown, or is this more specific here to ARM's business?
I think it's more specific to ARM's business than anything else. I think if it was sector-wide, we probably would have heard something from NVIDIA by now, right? I mean, expectations for them are through the roof. You'd expect if there was some serious miss coming, in the AI sector, then we would hear perhaps something from them. But look, these companies are still obviously growing very well. AMD did pretty decently for its quarter. They had issues on the gaming front, and that was their problem. Intel, they're still really trying to ramp up a lot of the AI efforts. And then look, we're talking about the AI PC race that we're seeing. Well, ARM chips go into Apple. They just announced their new chip, the M4. They go into their Qualcomm's as well. Qualcomm uses ARM-based chips. They're going to be launching AI PCs. So we could start to see a little more as far as consumers go outside of just the smartphones. But I do think that the key issue here is that people are just really jazzed up about AI, and they expect everybody to be like NVIDIA, and they're not. That's just the fact.